Crystal Turner, who also went by Crystal Beck, and Kylen Schulte were a newly married couple who lived the van life in Moab, Utah. They would go missing and then were found murdered at their campsite in August of 2021. Crystal and Kylen began dating in 2019. They were married in April of 2021, and they converted their van into a camper. They enjoyed traveling and living together and raising their rabbit and riding their motorcycle. Sean Paul, Kylen's father, said that their love was a love you see once in a lifetime. Kylen's grandmother described her as sunshine because she would just brighten any room, and also describing that she just loved to laugh. Kylen and Crystal both worked in the town of Moab. Crystal worked at the McDonald's and Kylen worked at the Moonflower Co-op. One of the articles I read stated that Crystal would be starting a new job that was going to be closer to Kylen's work. If you followed the Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie case, the Moonflower Cafe may actually sound familiar to you. This was the place that Brian Laundrie and Gabby Petito would allegedly get into a fight in front of on August 12th, 2021. And the police would be called, and then later they were pulled over and the body cam footage would show them on the highway talking to the police. The reason I bring up Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie is that they happened around the same time, and there were a lot of rumors and speculations that the two crimes are related. But the Grand County Sheriff's Office has dismissed this, saying that based on FBI and Florida investigators, electronic transmission evidence proves that Gabby Petito and Brian Laundrie were not involved in the murders of Kylen and Crystal. Even though the fight happened in front of Kylen's work on a day that she was working, we still aren't sure whether she saw it or not. So August 13th, 2021 would be the last time that anyone would see Crystal and Kylen alive. On August 13th, 2021, Crystal and Kylen would go out to Woody's Tavern in Moab. They would be seen on camera playing pool and hanging out with friends until late in the evening. Before Kylen and Crystal went missing, they had actually told friends of a creepy guy that was near their campsite and had planned on moving soon. Kylen and Crystal would not be reported missing until they didn't show up for work on August 15th. This was unusual for them, and friends and family seemed pretty worried. A friend of theirs, Cindy, would go looking for them around where she believed they were camping. This was on August 18th. So around 11 a.m., Cindy would get to their campsite, which was around South Mesa and LaSalle Loop Road. Cindy would find Kylen. She was partially clothed and was shot multiple times and was lying in a creek. Cindy had stated that her arms and legs were in an awkward angle. It was at this point she decided to call the police and stopped looking for Crystal out of fear that whoever did this was still nearby. Crystal was discovered nearby, and she had also been shot multiple times. Early on, police had stated that they had persons of interest, but there were no suspects. Crystal and Kylen's murder has been narrowed down to a specific time on August 14th, 2021, that Saturday in the late morning. Investigators had stated that there were rumors that gunshots and screams were heard around 11:35 a.m. Investigators say that this was confirmed by a more reliable source, and now they are stating that 11:35 a.m. on Saturday, August 14th is the time they are looking at. There is also allegedly an audio recording of the gunshots at that time, but that has not been released to the public. Other important things to note around the time of the murder is that there was a wedding happening at the Whispering Oaks Ranch on the 14th. The ranch, as you can see, is really minutes by car away from where the women were camping. Investigators also described the crime scene as disorganized. Things were just kind of chaotic. It didn't seem like it was very planned out.
The previously unsolved case of newlyweds Crystal Turner and Kylen Schulte has been closed. Let's get into the update. In May of 2022, Grand County Sheriff's Office publicly identified a suspect, Adam Pinkusewicz, who had worked at the same McDonald's as Crystal in MOAB. They may not have known each other because they worked different shifts, but it's my opinion they at least knew of each other. It is possible that Crystal didn't recognize him outside of work since there was a mask mandate at the McDonald's at the time. Early August 2021, Adam had also gotten into an argument with a manager who asked him to work faster. Adam apparently got in the woman's face and made derogatory statements about her sexuality and threatened to kick her ass. This manager was not Crystal, but I'm sure she would have heard of the incident from other employees. Adam was then asked to leave. There was a supposed incident around the same day where Crystal had come in without her uniform to make sandwiches for her and Kylen. This was a regular occurrence. This had made Adam upset, apparently. Investigators do not believe that a public argument occurred at this time. Early in the investigation, Adam was considered a person of interest after Crystal and Kylen were found dead at their campsite. He had, however, left MOAB before he could be questioned. He also never picked up his final check from McDonald's or answered police phone calls. Law enforcement tried to track Adam down, but all addresses were outdated. December 2021, they did find that he had owned a black 2007 Toyota Yaris that was sold, the same type of car seen driving the LaSalle Loop Road after the crime. The car had been sold in Waterloo, Iowa. In March of 2022, the Grand County investigators would get information from Waterloo police that Adam was deceased. He had taken his life on September 24th, 2021. This was about a month after the deaths of Crystal and Kylen. This brought forth some new key evidence. The bullet Adam had used to take his own life was unusual, a hollow point with a red tip. These unusual bullets were also found during Crystal and Kylen's autopsies. Adam's phone records were looked into. They showed messages of threats and homophobic remarks. One message from March 18th, 2021, that stated he had an ongoing impulse to kill or people, along with other memos where he was tracking people, their license plates, and becoming more paranoid. Adam also had a male significant other. This person lived in Waterloo. Authorities had gone to investigate him. Apparently, Adam had come to visit the significant other on August 27th, 2021. As soon as authorities showed up to the unidentified man's house, he immediately told them he knew they were there to talk about the two people Adam killed in Utah. Adam had apparently told his significant other about the crime, saying one was a woman he worked with that he didn't like because she was bossy. The unidentified man also gave information that was only known by authorities at the time. This was the fact that the two women were shot while they were still in their tent. The unidentified man was afraid of Adam and didn't come forward. He wasn't aware of his death until authorities had told him, and the man was in a different state during the crime. He is not a suspect. Even with Adam's death, there was enough evidence pointing towards him that the case was closed in December 2022. Hope I see you again sometime.